Good day, everyone. My name is Sagrika Das, a student of PP Savani University. This presentation is about pathology of Mycobacterium leprae. This presentation will contain different topics like introduction, transmission and diagnosis, virulence factors, pathogenicity or mechanism, host responses, conclusion, and references. First, let's see what is Mycobacterium leprae in the topic of introduction. Mycobacterium leprae is a bacteria that causes leprosy. Leprosy is a chronic infectious disease that damages the peripheral nerves and targets the skin, eyes, nose, and muscles. It was first discovered in 1873 by the Norwegian physician Gerhard Armor Hansen, who was searching for bacteria in the skin nodules of patients with leprosy. It was the first bacterium to be identified as causing disease in humans. Leprosy has been known to man since time immemorial. It was first found in remains of a man in a city next to Jerusalem. Using radiocarbon method, it was dated between 1 to 50 AD. The disease probably originated in Egypt and other Middle Eastern countries as early as 2400 BC. Mycobacterium leprae is a member of Mycobacteriaceae family, which is intracellular, pleomorphic, acid-fast and pathogenic bacterium. Mycobacterium leprae is an aerobic bacillus with parallel sides and rounded ends surrounded by the characteristic waxy coating unique to mycobacteria. Mycobacterium leprae has not yet been successfully cultured in vitro because of its slow growing nature if cultivated in laboratory. It continues to be a public health problem in countries like Brazil, Congo, Madagascar, Mozambique, Nepal, and Tanzania. The symptoms of leprosy includes loss of eyebrows, thick or lumpy earlobes, thick nerves, and mark or rings without filling inside. Leprosy is of five types according to clinical manifestations. First, tubercular leprosy. It can heal on its own or it can persist into another severe form. Second, borderline tubercular leprosy. It may persist, revert back to tuberculoid or can advance into another form. Third, mid borderline leprosy. It may regress, persist, or progress to another form. Fourth, borderline lepramatous leprosy. It can persist, regress, or can progress into another form. Fifth, lepramatous leprosy. It is the most severe form of leprosy which can cause hair loss, nerve damage, and weakness in the limbs. Now, let's see how Mycobacterium leprae get transmitted and how leprosy is diagnosed in the topic of transmission and diagnosis. The human being is the only known reservoir of infection of Mycobacterium leprae, but it can also be detected in wild armadillos. Nine-paned armadillo is a known carrier of Mycobacterium leprae. In humans, the bacteria is thought to be passed through skin and nasal mucosa. One study has demonstrated that large number of bacteria can be found on the skin of infected person, providing a possible means of transmission. Symptoms may occur within 1 year, but it can also take as long as 20 years or more. The incubation period of Mycobacterium leprae can range between 9 months and 20 years. Diagnosis of leprosy is based on one or more of the three signs. First, hypopigmented or reddish skin patches with definite loss of sensation. Second, thickened peripheral nerves. Third, acid-fast bacilli on skin smear or biopsy materials. Now, let's see virulence factor in the topic of virulence. The different virulence factors of Mycobacterium leprae includes waxy exterior, macrophage invasion, Schwann cell invasion, drug resistance, and bacterial evasion. Let's see all of them in detail. First, waxy exterior. Bacteria of the Mycobacterium genus are defined by their waxy exterior coat. In Mycobacterium leprae, the exterior allows for intake into the macrophage and into some dendritic cells in which it can survive. The terminal mannose cap on the waxy microbacterial ligand are recognized by PIR, that is, pattern recognition receptor, which is antigen presenting cell of the macrophage which allows the phagocytosis. Second, macrophage invasion. Mycobacterium leprae survives and replicates in the macrophages, dividing to approximately 100 organisms per cell. The bacteria prevent phagosome and lysosome fusion to avoid degradation. In the event that the bacteria are absorbed into the phagolysosome, Mycobacterium leprae has the ability to survive emission of reactive oxygen species. Third, Schwann cell invasion. The major target of Mycobacterium leprae is the Schwann cell. To access the cells, Mycobacterium leprae gets into the lymphatic system and the blood vessels. Once in the area, Mycobacterium leprae binds to the Schwann cell via laminin binding protein. The bacteria are thought to then enter through the vascular epithelium into the cell. The infection remains localized to the peripheral nervous system by rolling and binding to exposed Schwann cells. Fourth, drug resistance. Mycobacterium leprae has many mechanisms of drug resistance to allow it to continue to survive despite antimicrobial presence. Fifth, bacterial evasion. The bacteria suppresses the immune system by directly affecting the dendritic cells. T-cell mediated immune responses can be halted by preventing the interaction of dendritic cells and T cells, which Mycobacterium leprae accomplishes by causing dendritic cell to express PGL1 onto its surface. PGL1 is phenolic glycolipid, which is a protein that alters the dendritic cell and T cell matching, which slows down the immune attack on bacteria. The bacteria can also stop dendritic cell maturation by preventing IL-2 production, which is interleukin, a type of a cytokinin used in host defense that disables the immune defenses. Now, let's see how Mycobacterium leprae infects a person in the topic of pathogenicity. Bacteria first enters the body through skin or nasal mucosa. Then it migrates to Schwann cell where toll-like receptors like TLR1 and 2 are present and attacks the host immune responses. Toll-like receptors activates apoptosis and causes nerve damage. This bacteria can also be found in macrophage, muscle cells, and endothelial cells of blood vessels. Further damage is caused when bacteria starts multiplying in cells, which takes about 12 to 14 days and infects the other healthy cells. If it is not diagnosed in early stages, then the progress depends on immunity of a person. Specific and effective cell-mediated immunity, that is CMI, provides protection against leprosy. If CMI is effective, then lesions heal properly, while if it's not effective, then more severe leprosy occurs, that is multibacillary leprosy. In this condition, bloodstream may be invaded, which may cause foci in liver, spleen, adrenal testicle, bone marrow, and in excretion of milk. Lepramatous leprosy is more infectious than any other type of leprosy. In all forms of leprosy, Mycobacterium leprae invades both sensory and motor nerves and destroys nerve fibers. Now, let's see how a host defenses itself against Mycobacterium leprae in the topic of host defense. Formation of lesions and neuropathy is a result of host defense. Lesions are formed due to host attacking its own nerve cells by cell death mechanism. Dendritic cell phagocytosize the bacteria to stimulate adaptive immune responses through T cells. In tubercular leprosy, CD4 T cells are most effective, while in Leprechaunism leprosy, CD8 cytotoxic T cells are most effective. Infected swan cells are killed by cytotoxic T cells, which results in sensory loss. Schwann cells and macrophages can also be killed by nature killer cells. Healthy toll-like receptors distinguishes between polar types of disease. In tubercular leprosy patient, toll-like receptors are stronger than the toll-like receptor present in Leprechaunism leprosy. Macrophages causes production of TNF, which is tumor necrosis factor, that is a cell signaling protein which is associated with toll-like receptors and stimulate cell-mediated immunity. The immune system can also work to deter bacteria from adhering to the nerve cell using antibodies directed at the outer core coat of Mycobacterium leprae cells. Conclusion. Now, let's summarize what we learned in all the previous slides. Mycobacterium leprae can only survive in extremely selective environment as a result of reductive evolution. The bacteria still infects thousands of people worldwide, but with the help of antibiotics, the number has decreased. New antibiotic resistant strains are appearing, but stronger cocktail of drugs containing multiple antibiotics are now used to treat the disease. The multiple drug cocktail currently consists of the antibiotics like dapsone, rifampin, and clofazimine. It is possible that if correct combination of mineral, vitamin, and amino acid is found when added to media is correct to environment for Mycobacterium leprae, it could allow to study bacteria more and make drug research more effective. Even though 90% of those that come into contact with Mycobacterium leprae do not develop an infection, but those that do develop an infection shows a wide spectrum of severity of symptoms as a result of few key genes. If an infection is not caught early, there will be residual damage done to the peripheral nervous system of the infected individual because the lipids on the cell wall of bacteria causes demyelination of Schwann cells. The different references I took to make this video presentation are as follows. That's it. Thank you.